Let's do this. Good morning, and welcome to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold.
Oh, hell yes.
This is the show where we talk about everything.
What the hell?
Well, almost. From today's news, culture, entertainment, real life, real people, and the stories everybody's talking about. And no, we don't do it in some tiny glass bubble. We do it the only way we know how. Real and completely unleashed.
Fire the hole, fire the hole, fire the hole.
So lean in and let's go right now.
Give me a hell yeah. What? Sunshine and rainbows. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit. And keep moving forward. How much you can take. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. World.
Friday, July 31, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. Good morning. It is 104.3 FM, and we are also on all the live stream platforms. The name of the show is Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. We call it Freedom Friday around here. We know every day we have freedom, but we extra celebrate that on Friday. It is Freedom Friday. Hope you're wearing your freedom. Today I've got on the Freedom shirt, Charlie Kirk style, rest in peace. But it is Freedom Friday. We're going to be talking about everything almost today. And the world ain't always easy, but you got to get up when you get knocked down and keep doing it over and over. Okay? We just heard that little sound bite from Sylvester Stallone, Rocky Balboa, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope everything's going great for you. We're rolling into the weekend real quick. It is officially kicking off now, right now. We got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot to unpack. You can check us out right now, live streaming on Facebook at Daryl Arnold MS, of course, at Get Unleashed, at Unleash Media and Talk. You can also check out Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold on YouTube Live. And then, of course, after the show, we put up the podcast on all platforms at Apple, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio's in the mix now. Same thing, just type in the name of the show, or you can just simply go to darylarnold.us, and that's DARRELL. And you find all the players there, all the platforms that you want to listen to. You know, a lot of people listen to Apple. I get a ton of listeners from Spotify as well. And I just want to thank y'all. I really do. Because this show is growing and growing and growing because of you guys, not me. I just have the microphone. And we talk about everything openly here. We talk about everything openly here. Real talk, not in a tiny glass bubble, but common sense, which is not so common anymore, as you already know. And for tuning in each and every morning, because this is early in the morning. For people that tune in live, good morning. You're probably up getting ready to go to work. Maybe. I don't know. But in other parts of the country, it may be an hour later or a couple hours behind or ahead. Good morning to you guys, too. If you're on the West Coast, that probably means you're still up or you wake up super duper early. So, well, hello to y'all, too. Hello. But we're going to start it out today we're not going to dwell upon Dr. Anthony Fauci as much today, even though, I had a major problem with him for years. My last show was almost all about Dr. Fauci. So if you want to listen to the podcast from a couple of days ago, then yes, it's all about Fauci. I mean, it's just incredible. My opinion on that guy is not good. Not good at all. But people worshiped him in a sick kind of way, like Julia Roberts and actors in Hollywood, elites, celebritards, libtards. I mean, it was real sick, very sick. And that's where we were. I mean, unfortunately, completely insane. I bet these kids that got up on live TV at news conferences across the whole country with a or double mask on and their little cue cards, I bet they're still curled up crying in mommy's basement. They're probably in mommy's basement with the special edition Anthony Fauci body pillow curled up in the corner. But this really happened, y'all.
Dr. Fauci, give us vaccines. Help all the people who have been quarantined. We'll wear our masks and we'll have to stay distant. We'll wash our hands and we'll be more resistant. Fauci, yes, promise us please. We'll have a cure that can fight off this disease. Restrictions will lift with some ease. Dr. Fauci, don't forget me.
Just unbelievable. Unbelievable that kid's probably still in mom's basement. Hell, he may still be wearing a mask and smoking kratom or something at this point. Who knows? Anyway, it's Freedom Friday, y'all. Just wanted to remind you of the gentleman. Well, he's not a gentleman, but the Dr. Anthony Fauci taking our freedom away in this country. Okay. Or let me rephrase that, trying with a capital T to take our freedom away. Now, he didn't do that to all of us because we didn't fall for the cultist type fascism. We didn't fall for it. You know, that was probably James Tallarico with that mask on when he was younger. I mean, it was such brainwashing, 100%. Now, let's stop talking about Fauci. Let's stop talking about the foolishness of Fauci. Double F, foolish Fauci. So we're rolling into the weekend. What we're going to do right now, though, before we go any further is, on this show, we circle back, as they say in the Democrat world. Circle back, circle back, circle back. Well, we're going to circle back right now because I like to circle back too. Because if you circle back, I mean, years and years, you can go all the way back if you want. But if you circle back and focus on one question that keeps coming up that I've been talking about for decades. Did Barack Hussein Obama did he lay the groundwork for today's modern far left Democrat Socialists of America and the far left Democrat Party that's taken over the moderate Democrat Party? Well, the answer depends on what aspect of the Democrat Party you're talking about. If you're talking about this DSA, I believe he did lay the groundwork for it and continues to be involved in the background, of course. Barack Hussein helped lay the groundwork for today's more progressive Democrat Socialists of America because greater emphasis on identity politics is what he pushed. He pushed issues of race to the max. That's what he did. He was the great divider. He also pushed gender and social, quote, justice, as they call it. He also expanded as much as possible the federal government's role in areas such as healthcare. And then he came out with the ACA, the quote, Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, which was based all on socialism, basically, and a lie. He's the one, Barack Hussein Obama shifted the party's rhetoric and coalition towards a, quote, younger, more progressive activist, and the rise of influential complete fool activists and organizations that are still out there that came from the Obama years. And also, Barack Hussein Obama, right when he left office, he had always built this big coalition, always. Right after he left office, remember Black Lives Matter, the Bernie Sanders campaign, changing public opinion on Democrat voters, reaction to the hatred of Donald Trump, so on and so on. So a balanced conclusion of that, in my opinion, is Barack Hussein Obama played the most significant role in reshaping the Democrat Party and expanded the progressive coalition into what we have now, which is the Democrat Socialists of America. He laid the groundwork, y'all, for the far left Democrats. Ultimately, and that's where we are with that. It is where we are. David Hall, good morning, sir. He just sent me a text, and you can do the same thing at 601-918-8409. Again, the text line 601-918-8409. Text line this hour brought to you by Cypress Point Resort, cypresspointms.com, at Cypress Point MS on Facebook. Yep. So if you've been watching any type stories on the news, Spain is done. Kaput. See ya, as David Hall said. But this is true. Tens of thousands and thousands of people rushed their border, rushed right in, Islamic Muslims and etc., because Spain's politics was far left. And look where it got them. Look where it got them. They let that happen, ladies and gentlemen. And people say, well, why should we worry about that in America? Because they're going to give them freaking passports over there and then or not give them passports and they're going to come over here or try to. Because Joe Biden had it wide open. Right now, we don't have it wide open. But you can't police everyone. You cannot police everyone, unfortunately. It's sad but true. It is sad but true. Now, there is a lot we can do, but Spain was in the toilet. Spain was in the toilet. Everybody warned that country, which will be this country if we allow the Democrat Socialists of America to get voted in. It will be this country. It's not scare tactics, it's the truth. It will be. Absolutely be this country. Good morning, Russell. Good morning, Chris Mark. Good morning, David Hall. Good morning, Melody. Good morning, Colleen, etc. So on. Chris Martin. Oh my God, the sheep are so lost. The greatest freedom we have is freedom to think for ourselves and remain to have common sense. That's right. He's also referring back to the Obama administration. The little Marxist bastard. Yes. It's just like really like an abusive relationship, David Hall said, with Marxists. They promise it'll be different this time, better this time. Then comes the betrayal and ultimately the violence. That is a correct statement. That is. But these are things, ladies and gentlemen, that we talk about on this show, okay? We don't do this show for Fear Friday. We do this show for Freedom Friday. So these are not fear tactics. These are true tactics. Florida Attorney General, the Attorney General in Florida now, he did announce that he is immediately going to Washington, D.C. to get evidence against Fauci from Congress. And he's going out next week. We're going to send a plane up to D.C. and get anything that, they're willing to share. Because he, in Florida, a state that doesn't take any BS, is going to try to charge Dr. Fauci. They're going to try to charge him.
That there is a investigation right now into Fauci's actions. What happens next?
That's right. We'll be going through the record we have. We're going to send a plane up to D.C. and get any file they're willing to share with us. Look forward to working with Senator Rand Paul. I know he's eager to find accountability. And then we'll have subpoenas out likely as early as next week, looking into what Dr. Fauci knew, when he knew it, all of the statements and directives he made. We know he's been out there bragging about how he told New York officials to lock down schools, encourage this type of behavior. People listened to him. They were duped by him. And then we're going to look at, his side business dealings, what financial gain he made throughout this deception, through grants, awards, any income he had that could have been derived from this widespread effort.
Yeah, because guess what? A state crime is not a federal crime. A state crime is not a federal crime. And him and Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, also, that him being Anthony Fauci, were at obviously each other's throats because Ron DeSantis was not going to keep his state closed down. Was it going to happen? So Florida's looking into this. And I say, good. I say more states should do exactly that. More states should do exactly that. Maybe somebody can get something going with that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're about God, family, friends, and America here on Fridays and every day. And we're also about freedom on Fridays and every day. But we do celebrate Freedom Friday in true style. So if you have a freedom shirt or a hat, wear it out today. Why not? And if anybody gives you a hard time, give them a middle finger. Because if they don't like freedom, then they need to move to a country that doesn't allow freedom. But they won't do that because they talk a big game. But when you say, hey, guess what? Just move then. You know they don't. They don't. And which issue is concerning y'all right now? Because we have a lot. We have the Iran, which we are sending the very biggest and most powerful hits on Iran that we have done so far in this particular war. That's what we're doing right now. Because every time we get closer to some sort of deal, which I do believe is probably impossible with terrorists, then boom. And then yesterday, or overnight rather, I do think that Israel came in and slammed all of the current leadership of Iran because they had found out they were having a get together, sit down meeting, and boom, intelligence brought Israel in and they lit them up. So right now we don't know, of course, who the any idea right now who the leadership is. Or let me put it this way, I don't know. I'm sure somebody knows. And one other thing before I forget, where in the hell is Mitch McConnell? This is ridiculous. Mitch McConnell needs to demonstrate now, not later, that he is capable of serving. Personally, I don't think he is, but he needs to demonstrate right now. Enough of the secrets, enough of holding back, saying he's in the hospital and this and that. No. What the hell is going on with Mitch McConnell? I mean, for real. No more joking. No more joking. The Iran conflict, as we were just talking about, it widens big time as cyber attacks hit the United States homeland. The exchange of strikes between the United States and Iran continue to expand through the Middle East, now with Egypt being drawn into the fighting. But at the same time this is going on, authorities say that Iran has carried out a cyber attack on the water systems, such as Minnesota, bringing the conflict directly to the American homeland. Now, here's a quote and a statement from a retired Navy SEAL. Iran's military and proxies are very significantly weaker now than 5 months ago. Economic pressure is biting them, but the campaign must stay sustained, including deeper strikes and continued targeting of leadership and attacks on our homeland is more likely if we let up on them. because this war is no longer, ladies and gentlemen, confined to a small region. Why? Because we've blown most of those regions away. That's why. That's why. So keep that head on a swivel, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that head on a swivel on this Friday, July 31, Freedom Friday. Don't let any of this ruin your weekend, though. That's not what I'm here for. We're here to speak the truth as best as we know it through the best research that we can possibly do. And if we get anything wrong, I'll be the first to apologize. The very first. I'm not a specialist by any means in war, but I am a specialist in common sense, as well as most of you are too. Most of you are too. It's really not that hard, right? Of course not. We'll be right back, top of the hour.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
Power 104.3 FM.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
The Pirate.
Support for these programs comes from Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, providing licensed electrical contracting services throughout Mississippi for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. Also installations, system upgrades, troubleshooting, and emergency electrical repairs. As certified installers for Tesla, charging systems, and a certified dealer for Generac backup power solutions, their team delivers safe, code-compliant workmanship with a commitment to precision and integrity. They are veteran-owned. Their phone number is 769-572-7597.
Lincoln County, it's almost time. Friday, August 7th at Cameron's Garage, the reunion show you have waited on. Cross-and-Dixon concert, and opening the show is the Stevens Brothers. The reunion show you have waited on. Cross-and-Dixon concert, and opening the show is the Stevens Brothers. All tickets are available at the door now for $20. This is a show not to miss, August 7th at Cameron's Garage, located at Cypress Point Resort.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
Welcome back, 7:02, top of the hour, Central Time in the middle of the state, Mississippi. My name is Daryl Arnold, Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. Thanks for joining me as usual. Man, we were in the middle of talking about all kind of stuff that's going on around the country. But what's going on here? Well, there's a lot always going on in Mississippi as well. A lot going on in Mississippi as well. We're talking about Florida, what they were doing. Looking into Anthony Fauci. We're talking about that, of course. There's been a lot going on in Mississippi. I mean, a whole lot. Yesterday, the governor, Tate Reeves, was among 23 Republican governors across the country who did, in fact, sign a letter and sent to President Donald Trump on Wednesday, backing the Save America Act's inclusion in the latest budget resolution package. Let's talk about that for a minute. We have talked about this for eons. We've talked about John Thune. We've talked about the weak, sick individuals that will not pass the Save America Act. Ridiculous. We've gone as far as doing full stories on freaking Olive Garden. You have to have an ID for the pasta pass, but not to vote. We're reading from the Magnolia Tribune right now. The governor sent the letter, like I said, on Wednesday to back the White House's position. The U.S. House of Representatives included the election integrity provisions in the budget bill before sending it over to Senate. Majority Leader John Thune has repeatedly said the act does not have the votes to pass in the upper chamber, despite Republicans holding the majority by 3 seats. Somehow John Thune needs to go. And no, the Magnolia Tribune did not say that. I did. But in the letter obtained by Politico, the governor said the budget package with Save America Act includes its crucial first step to protect America's elections, strengthen America's national defense, and support the American farmers. The Save America Act includes, quote, common sense measures that are critical for restoring America's trust in our electoral process. As governors, we are front lines of the first fight to restore confidence in our election process. That's from Tate Reeves, and I took that story from the MagnoliaTribune.com. But this is so true, ladies and gentlemen. So very true. Because the shocking truth, the shocking revelation, the shocking that everybody's been exposing for years now. This didn't just happen. But massive individuals are found on voter rolls, but not in this state only, in every state. But a lot more in Mississippi than you would think. I mean, years ago, we had people on here talking about the voter rolls. Years ago. Do we know if those were ever cleaned up? I don't. I know that a lot of them were. Through a lot of hard work from people. Somebody named Leanna Allen said Mississippi doesn't have a voter fraud problem. It has too few citizens show up to the polls problem. There's a lot of truth to that too. Okay. There is a lot of truth to that. Even though we do have voter roll problems, our main problem is people showing up to vote. And if you don't think that this purple Mississippi will turn blue, you better be showing up for these elections quickly, because the Democrat Socialists of America, they have it together. They have their protests, and they get up and they go vote. And that doesn't require cheating when you get up and you go out and vote. But when the Republican Party sits around and only has 17% of the people voting. Pathetic. Pathetic. And you have so many people, not just in this state, I promise you. Everybody always tries to put Mississippi in the back burner, but we're not. And we're not stupid. We're not stupid. We don't wear white sheets. We don't have dirt floors. We have Netflix. We have all the same stuff as you do out there, especially the ones that are messaging me. I mean, really. Mm, mm, mm. And the people without common sense, like this young lady, young being who doesn't understand it, saying, hey, thank you, Mrs. So and so, I'm not going to say their name, for educating people on this bill. Seems the governor has forgotten that he has daughters and it will be harder for them to vote. No, it won't. They are pushing the biggest lies in the world. Everybody gets married every day. Everybody gets an ID every day. Everybody gets a driver's license every day. Everybody gets a state, federal passport. They get the regular driver's license. They get it every day, and it doesn't make it harder. That is a 100% lie that they're pushing. Okay, they're pushing a lie. Do you know anyone or any female out there who's had damn trouble getting an ID? And like I said, to go to Olive Garden. So the people that come back with that, it's not true. It is proven not true. They don't, all they do is push the propaganda. And the people that literally don't know that they're being manipulated by some far left lunatic saying it's going to be harder for women to get the IDs. If you're too stupid to figure this out, I don't know what else to say. I don't. I mean, for real. Here's somebody, how would you feel if you arrived to vote and ICE agents were checking everybody's ID? I'd feel pretty good. I don't have anything to hide. Anybody with an ID should feel pretty good. Pretty good. Do I think it'll go that far? No, I don't. But I'd feel like I always do. I wouldn't feel any different at the polls. Yeah, well, I got a message saying, you mean like what happens when we buy a car, order a beer, tour an apartment, get on an airplane, rent a car, get the pasta unlimited from Olive Garden? Yeah, that's right, Jay. I would feel the same way. Mm, mm, mm. And we already show ID everywhere. We do. And when they scan the back of your license, folks, they got your info. Stop being a weirdo. Use common sense. Stop being a weirdo. Because if you don't think they already know what you're doing on your little iPhone or your little Android right now, of course they do. Even if you don't have an ID. So good luck. Good luck hiding. And if that scares you, even better. It should. It should scare you. freaking weird people in this world. But we celebrate freedom around here. And I will never stop pushing for that, ever. Doesn't matter. I don't need one side or the other side to be in office. I don't need that at all. Don't need that whatsoever. But like I said just a few minutes ago, because it's blowing up across the news feed on the TV above me, on the bottom of the screen is Trump unleashing crippling strikes on Iran as the Pentagon prepares for bigger strikes than ever seen before. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, whether you like war or not, we are where we are, ladies and gentlemen, right now. We are where we are. We are where we are. And believe me, I see all your comments out there about how much money, taxpayer dollars, was wasted on another useless war. I mean, I get it. Nobody really likes war that has any kind of soul and heart, and nobody really likes it. But that's not the point, you know? It's not the point. They're trying to take us out, so now it's like, buckle up, Buttercup. Buckle up, Buttercup. You're in for a ride. Anyway, but to all the TDS, because there's a whole bunch, all you Trump derangement syndrome, sickness, hate America, liberal, Democrat, socialist, the TDS is real, okay? And people are in dire need for help with this. The Trump derangement syndrome pills, they're not real, but just think if they were. Take two and try being an American for a change. Somebody sent me a photo of that. It is Trump derangement syndrome pills. Take two and try being an American for a change. Yeah. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. But either way, this war, whatever happens, the President of the United States and our military is going to have to finish the job because everyone is tired of talk. No matter what side of the fence you're on, please finish the job one way or the other. It is where it is. It is where it is. Somebody sent me a text, same old BS, different day. Well, is that how you look at life? Probably. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. But you can't fall into that trap when we're in something so very important for this country. For my shirt, freedom, freedom. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump on another subject or two here on Friday, July 31st, and it is Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. And again, that is Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. So please, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. And if you're listening to this later, thank you so much for listening. Always.
Pearl, Mississippi. Are you looking for something sweet and homemade? 104.3 FM, The Pirate, Pearl Municipal Broadcasting, and Main Street Pearl is proud to spotlight Dulce Vita Ice Cream Factory. Come discover Dulce Vita Ice Cream Factory, Pearl's newest treat spot at 2860 Highway 80 East. Everything's made fresh in-house. Creamy ice cream, fruity popsicles, classic banana splits, ice cream sandwiches, fluffy pancakes, refresher drinks, and loaded snacks like chips and noodles with all your favorite toppings. Follow Dulce Vita Ice Cream Factory on Facebook for hours, location, and specials. Dulce Vita Ice Cream Factory. Life is sweeter here.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the Tavern. The Tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the Safari Park and Petting Zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the Wedding Chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
Welcome back. Friday, Freedom Friday. My name is Daryl Arnold, 104.3 FM, and of course on all the live stream platforms. Thank you to Restream for that. And of course, the podcast will be loaded after the show. Apple, Spotify, Podbean, all of them, iHeartRadio, Pandora, etc. So on and so on. Amazon, ladies and gentlemen. Hell, if you got an Amazon account, you can still listen to Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. This radio show is always out there as well on the apps for radio like TuneIn and many others. So don't forget that either. Oh my goodness gracious. So I said we're going to change gears a little bit. We are. We're going to talk a little music for just a second and stuff like that, because we talk about everything almost. So August 7th is coming up real quick. 15 or so years ago, there was a huge band, Crossing Dixon, Mississippi boys, went to Nashville, got the big record deal, all that good stuff. Crossing Dixon. And there's no G on Crossing. They will be performing at Cameron's Garage on August 7th, and that's coming up real quick, y'all, in about, 8 days? Yeah. So you definitely want to check that out. There's no more tickets online. It's flat rate, $20 at the door to get into the show. Opening the show is a up-and-coming, incredible young band that has been playing on the beach all summer long at every major venue from Florida to Mississippi coast to Gulf Shores to all in between. Okay? Stevens Brothers open the show, and they start early, like 5:30, 6 o'clock, okay? And then Crossing Dixon is $20. August 7th, a week, little over a week away. August 7th, a little over a week away. So you don't want to miss that. While we're talking about music, Motley Crue, one of the bands that, I grew up with. Major hits, obviously, Kickstart My Heart, Home Sweet Home. I could go on and on with them. The singer Vince Neil's had a couple of strokes, but they're out on tour now. So he struggles a bit, but they're out on tour. But their guitar player, Mick Mars, has not been in the band in a couple of years. He has a very rare spine disease that keeps him bent over, and was in massive pain for over 20 years, massive pain, but still toured with him. Well, they separated with him. They separated ties with him. I'm not sure exactly who said what and who did what. I really don't care. I will always love the original lineup of Motley Crue. Nothing against the new lineup, because the new guitar player is John Five, who's incredible. Plays it exactly like the record, just like Mick. I've never been a fan of Tommy Lee's mouth and his politics and the way he's ran his mouth over the years and the way he's acted over the years. But in his older years, he is starting to get a little bit more common sense. You can hear it in his voice. He's been doing a lot of interviews. You know, I guess when you get to be 63, whatever it is, 64 years old, maybe it takes that long to grow up. I don't know. But Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins has a hugely, widely successful podcast. And I usually keep up with that particular podcast because he has a very interesting guest. And he keeps it real, and he's not a libtard. So he had Tommy Lee in there a couple of days ago. Want to play a clip from that because it's quite interesting, from one of the bands that we absolutely loved from the mid 80s all the way.
Appreciates how good a guitar player Mick is. Like, nobody plays like Mick. Only one guy on the planet plays like Mick, and that's Mick Mars.
Yep.
So I guess what I would say is, now that you guys are put to pass this kerfuffle, maybe just a chance to say something positive about your whether it's musical or personal about Mick, because I know you're a lover, not a hater.
100%. And for me, that whole thing was awkward and really hurtful. To the point where people are saying, untrue things and kind of doing that. But just to echo what you're saying, I mean, there is only one Mick, and he's an insane player, and it saddens me just on a personal level for him that this insane, bone disease or spine disease, slowly, started, dementing his shape. He's started get locked into being hunched over.
He went through it.
A lot of pain, and watching him struggle, and then all of a sudden, I think it takes a toll on, and maybe his age too. He started to, he came to us saying, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't.
Well, it must be hard, because when you're a prideful and great musician, anything that diminishes your ability to play your instrument, just that alone, psychologically, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, super tough.
And by the way, the whole world's watching. You're not playing to 50 people in a club. You're playing to 25,000 people in an outdoor venue on a beautiful summer night.
I always try to put myself in Mick's shoes, and I got nothing but love for that guy. Nothing but love. I just wish it didn't get so, and that's just, unfortunately, that's just the way things go when people are threatened or hurt, or, they fight back.
Yeah, that's, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, Mick Mars has been in pain for 30, 40 years. So nobody really understands how he did it so long. And I like the way that Billy Corgan said the big kerfuffle that they had going on. But the band continues with John Five, who's a great individual and obviously a great player. So I wanted to talk a little bit about music there, because Tommy Lee went on a, 30-year binge of being an idiot, and his political views went insane, and cussing out politicians and all that. Maybe, just maybe a little bit, now that he's grown with grown kids and probably grandkids, It's probably reeled it in a bit because reality kicks in, okay? Reeled it in a little bit. I don't know his political views. They probably haven't changed much. Who knows? Who knows? They probably haven't. But what they did, though, is they did, Motley Crue, beat Mick Mars in court and left him with hardly nothing at all. Or let me back that up. They didn't leave him with nothing because he's already made a ton of money with Motley Crue over the years. But they did leave him with less than he deserved. Let's put it that way. Okay? But every true Motley Crue fan knows that there'll never be Motley Crue again without the particular lineup. So that's all I got to say on that one. We're going to move on. We're going to move on. But while we're in the entertainment, where we talk about everything here almost, we're going to talk a little bit about why that the WNBA is cooked. They're toast, in my opinion. Toast. These are 16-year-old girls and a liberal WNBA co-owner apparently could not control herself. It is pathetic. I wouldn't think that you would want to chase fans out of your building if you were a band or if you were a sports team, whether it be basketball, football, baseball, soccer, or anything else. I don't believe you would want to chase your fans out of your building, especially young girls who are 16, 17 years old, just because you can't control your Democrat socialist attitude. But yes, this is why the NBA is cooked. This isn't completely why. The co-owner of the Seattle franchise, I would think your goal is to get longtime fans, but cussing them out for wearing a Riley Gaines merchandise shirt.
Signs that said, "We love Sophie. Thank you, Sophie, for speaking up." We were holding on, just watching the game. We were being super respectful. We were just holding our signs and cheering for both teams. And this lady, older lady, comes up to us. At first, I think she's going to be nice. And then she asked, like, "What are you guys doing?" Something like that. And then it was like, "Jesus loves everyone." That's what she told us. And I was like, "Oh, I know." She's like, "Oh, I hope Jesus can forgive you for what sin you've done." And like something like that. And then she told us that we were effing insane.
And she's like, and she went like this.
Insane. Yeah.
She's like, you better stop this.
And stop pulling this. Yeah.
So you got two 16-year-old girls at a basketball game. The WNBA is hurting for fans, right? They're hurting for attention. They're hurting for eyeballs. They're hurting for lifelong fans. More fans equals more revenue. So you got two 16-year-old girls. They're there to watch the WNBA. They probably wouldn't have been there had it not been for Sophie Cunningham. And you go up to them and you say, "You're effing insane." Probably not a good idea. You don't want to.
Yeah, probably not a good idea. These people don't, I'm not sure any of these people care anymore, which is sad. It's almost as if the WNBA thinks they don't need fans. But what if they had to support themselves operationally? Then what? Without fans? I mean, then what? And this all happened at, ironically, the climate change arena, which, how fitting, by the way. But they have no editor. They can't control themselves. They being the Democrat, current progressive left, far left idiots. They can't. They cannot help themselves. especially when your league, as in the WNBA, is hurting already, slacking, whatever. Why is that story important? It goes back to everything that we talk about. Out of control, far left foolishness. No common sense whatsoever. And it gets even crazier because it is a crazy Freedom Friday. Yeah. So remember when Graham Plattner, the freaking complete Hitlerish with the Nazi tattoo and the beating up on his exes and all that, whatever. Troy Jackson is now running for that spot in Maine. So the Maine Wire, which is a organization right there in Maine, did the story on Troy Jackson, which then Clay Travis from Outkick picked it up. So this guy, Troy Jackson, is now running for that Senate spot for the country. Running to be on the Hill in D.C. Okay. He married his cousin or lives with, I'm not sure if they're legally married, and they have kids together. There is apparently not one single normal male Democrat left, legitimately. They do not exist. What the hell? I mean, for real. They have 2 children together. Why? I mean, are all Democrat men? What is it? What is it? Are they perverts? Or are they just, I don't know what they are, honestly. I really don't. I don't know what they are. There is no true male left. This is a comment, by the way, from Lawrence. There's no true male that can support the Democrat Party anymore. No matter where you look, the Democrat male is a loon, a freak, a beta, and just repulsive. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Someone said they took the Omar route. Yeah, apparently. Apparently. But since Democrats, and this is the truth, since Democrats have won, WON, elections with slogans like incest is best. Wow. I guess they're truthful then. I've never heard that before, but Jesus. Wow. Anyway. Someone said, no, they never were married. I mean, does that matter? They're still cousins. So does that really matter if they have a ring or not? Does it really? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Jeez. I mean, it never stops with these people. So I'll just say this to the comment from this jerk off that just, comes at me in my direct message here. No, they ain't married. Well, my comeback to you is then, Jack, you know your real name. So that means they had bastard children together? I mean, really? What the? And why is it, and this is why, in my opinion, that the state of Maine, the Maine Democrats embrace Islamists? That's why you're all kissing cousins. Okay. They're all, in fact, kissing cousins. And his sister, by the way, Troy Jackson's sister, was already married to his brother. Man, what in the hell? I mean, really. I don't know. I do know that it's crazy. I do know that it's insane. And I do know that it's, sick to a lot of people. So the latest update is about Spain. I mean, they came in blowing up the border over there, over in Spain. The population increased roughly from 80 to 132,000 in 24 hours because of the flow of the third world savages. Around 50,000 invaders at one time, by the way. There's a lot of video out there, flowed in across in one day, immediately raiding homes and clashing with the locals. A dire warning for the West, which is us. Okay? Because they're cooked over there unless they're all removed. It's basically not even Spain anymore after one day. So, yes, it is a stark warning. A stark warning. Pay attention. Pay attention. And also, please, we talk about this a lot, but Islam is not compatible with the Western civilization. Sharia law goes against our Constitution. So easy to figure out if you just read about it. They're not compatible. And really, that's all there is to it. Shouldn't be an argument. Should just be the truth. The truth. My name is Daryl Arnold. It is Friday, July 31st, 104.3 FM. Also, the podcast available later. We're currently also live streaming on YouTube at Unleashed Media and Talk, on Facebook at Daryl Arnold MS and Unleashed Media and Talk, and many more platforms. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back with you. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
If you or a loved one need reliable medical equipment, trust a name Mississippi has depended on for over 20 years. Mobility Medical, located right in Flowood, is your local family-owned source for mobility and home healthcare solutions. From power wheelchairs and scooters to lift chairs that help you relax in comfort, they've got everything you need to stay independent and live better every day. Need help at home? Mobility Medical offers hospital beds, tables, and essential supplies, and more. What sets them apart? It's their personalized service. Their experienced team works one-on-one with you to find the right equipment. Serving all of Mississippi and beyond with in-store support and delivery options available. Mobility Medical, helping you move better, live better, and stay independent. Visit them today in Flowood or call to learn more.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
All right, 7:44 in the morning. Got about 15 minutes or so left in the show. One more segment. Thanks for locking it in and hanging out on a Freedom Friday. And we appreciate it always. Also appreciate our sponsors and etc. Now, I don't obviously talk about investments or any of that kind of stuff. You know, I will say there's some good free information out there that you can get at SwissAmerica.com/unleashed. No obligation, just information. SwissAmerica.com/unleashed. Just no obligation. You know, gold, things like that, precious metals, because the dollar's dying. We all know that. So make wise choices, either with the dollar or without it. Again, just some information for you. That's all. July 31 is today. That means tomorrow is August, my birthday month. Gonna be a big month. We're talking about Crossing Dixon coming on August 7th. Laura Lee Burnham from Burnham Road. Burnham Road's playing tomorrow night, August 1st, and it is Laura Lee Burnham's birthday party at Cameron's Garage, located at Cypress Point. Tonight is Emergency 9, incredible rock band. Tomorrow night is Burnham Road. You don't want to miss that party. August 7th is, like I said, going to be big with Crossing Dixon and the Stevens Brothers. August 15th, going to be also another big night with the Honky Tonk Time Machine. Rolling into Daryl's annual birthday celebration, August 22nd. That's going to be big. Everyone's invited to my birthday. And it will be Thomas Kane, one of my favorite artist bands. You don't want to miss that. August 22nd, Thomas Kane in Cameron's Garage. And yes, I'm going to be inviting all y'all. So please accept my invitation. I would love it. I would love to see all y'all there, by the way. Oh, I'm getting all kind of stuff. Create your new password on Instagram. You never know if any of this crap is true, false, or, I mean, it's just nonstop with these hackers nowadays. Nonstop. Wow. Trump does target one of the worst airports, though, anywhere, which is the one in D.C., and they're wanting to invest like $22.5 billion overhaul into that. Because it is a piece of, you know what, in D.C., in America's capital, in the capital. So that's crazy as well. So another quote, team takeover, which I think shouldn't even be called that. It should be called straight up criminals, gangsters, thugs in the nation's capital. And everyone there knew it was coming. Somebody telling their story. I had just left dinner with friends in Northwest Washington, D.C. on Friday. After we said goodbye, I started walking along the park towards the nearest metro subway station. Within minutes, within seconds, sirens started going off. Several police cars appeared almost immediately. As quickly, the street was filled with teenagers flooding from every direction, causing pure chaos and hurting individuals. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. When are we going to stop putting up with these punks? You cannot put up with punks who are literally destroying property, destroying people, and destroying the whole entire communities. So stop putting up with it. If you can't be a real law enforcement person, then give up the job and give it to somebody else. Give the job to somebody else. We can't allow punks, thugs, street punks, gangs, wannabe gangs, mama daddy boy gangs, whatever it is. Can't allow them to do this stuff. Absolutely cannot allow it to happen. It's not fair. It's not fair to the working people in whatever city, whatever community, anywhere in the United States. Honestly. We have the far left CNN loser fake news panicking after now they're learning that Elon Musk is plotting a 100 million plus, which is pocket change for him, spending surge into the MAGA midterms. CNN is panicking. Good. I love it when I hear them panicking. You can hear the panic in their voices too, which is even funnier.
Is breaking this news just now. Musk's representatives are declining to say just how much Musk is planning to spend, but they told Axios the number is expected to be high. Now, obviously, Musk is the richest man in the world, so high could be absolutely anything. And just the only context we have is that he spent more than $250 million in the 2024 election. Out front now, Alex Eisenstadt, the Axios White House senior political reporter who just broke this story. So, Alex, you know, as I said, $250 million last time, and this is a guy who's gotten a lot richer since then. I mean, that's pocket change for him. What's your sense of how much money Musk could be about to spend?
Definitely in the tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions. This is going to be a very in-depth effort, and Elon Musk is going to be playing an incredibly central role now in the GOP's fall turnout efforts in basically spearheading, door-knocking voter turnout efforts for the party. So he is now going to be a very key figure as Republicans try to maintain control of both chambers of Congress, which is not going to be necessarily easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, odds are, if you look at it now, that would not happen. But I know Speaker Johnson has indicated optimism. I'm curious what your sense is from your reporting, Alex, that, you know, the specificity of this, that it's on voter turnout specifically, right?
Of course it's on voter turnout. Of course it is, because the Democrat Party has George Soros and all those other people out there basically paying folks. Cheating. Denny Thompson style from Mississippi. Yeah. Yeah, they're just, you know, pissing their pants because they know that Elon Musk has got the money to back his up word. He's got the money to back it. He doesn't have to be worried about $100 million. That's nothing. The guy just became the first trillionaire with a T ever. It's completely insane. And as the United States of America, since Trump came in office this particular time, since basically January, United States had negative 18% plummet in murder rate access across 2026, on track for the lowest murder rate in 125 years. In 125 years. So these are very recent, like as in yesterday, achievements. Whether you like Kash Patel or not, the truth.
We have the brilliant foresight to resource law enforcement and not defund us, and prioritize the mission set of crushing violent crime and defending the homeland. On the large-scale scam compound fraud that's happening in the cross-border regions on the other side of the world, President Trump, nearly after getting into office, signed an executive order that said this is how we're going to get after the scam compound frauds that are depriving Americans of billions and billions of dollars. So the FBI launched Operation Blackout, which we conducted with our partners across the world, including in Southeast Asia and the Middle East. And we took down 4 of the largest scam compounds in the world, and we freed thousands of traffic workers, Sean. We seized over $15 billion worth of fraud that was being deprived and stolen from American citizens, and we annihilated these compounds. The main goal is to disrupt, dismantle, and then fully annihilate them with our partners in Southeast Asia, like the Cambodians, the Thais, and the Indians. And we had the Royal Thai Police go in there and literally scuttle a compound.
Yep. Good job. I don't care what other people say. Good job. Very good job. So before we go, maybe you'll smile on your face because it's so ridiculous. I mean, it's sad, but it also may put a little smile on your face this morning, or any morning for that matter. If you listen back to this show at any time, you may in fact say, what in the absolute, you know what? What in the absolute, you know what? Josh Hawley always tears up people in hearings, the far left lunatics. But this is probably the most ridiculous thing and will be one of the biggest sound clips in the history of this country with Dr. Anthony Fauci. Okay. With Dr. Anthony Fauci. It's so incredibly dumb of him, the doctor, that it's hard to even listen to. It really is.
Well, nothing says honesty like taking the fifth, huh, Doc? Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned, as you very well know. As the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more, Brown versus Walker, 1896, when he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege. You know that. Your lawyers sitting behind you now shifting nervously in their chairs. They know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt. Contempt for this body and contempt for the American people. But I think I know why you're doing it. It's because you don't want to answer questions. It's because you did all kinds of terrible things. It's because during the pandemic, you got rich. didn't you? You got rich while people were dying, hundreds of thousands of Americans, over 1 million in the end, and you were getting rich. And not only were you doing that, you were using federal employees with taxpayer money to apply for and solicit cash prizes for you personally. Cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic, didn't?
Of course he did. Of course he did. And nothing, unfortunately, will probably happen to him. Nothing, unfortunately. Nothing happened to him back during the AIDS epidemic in the 80s. Nothing will probably happen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So also, ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday, July 31st. My name is Daryl Arnold. There's a brand new article out about me. Humbly, I'm so very blessed. It's on, like 1,200 ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, CW, all of that. I'm very blessed. I did this a few weeks back. I didn't realize it was going to hit all of those different media outlets. Talks a little bit about my story. A lot of my story y'all know about. Some of my story you may not know about. I'll put a link up in my podcast notes, and it's linked up on my Facebook at Daryl Arnold MS. So I really do hope that you have a very fantastic weekend coming into the month of August. Big shout out to the Leos. My name is Daryl Arnold. Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. DarylArnold.us. See ya.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unapologetic. America First Talk at its best. Where we party the right way. See you next time, or else.